Hey everybody, welcome to the chair with James. Going to do the Week 14 NFL picks, starting with Thursday, December 9th. The matchup is Pittsburgh at 6-5-1 at Minnesota. The Vikings at 5-7. Joe Hayden's out for the Steelers. Robert Spurline as well. But the Vikings are without Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook is questionable. So this is must win for both, obviously, because the wild cards are still in the fold for these two. But I think Pittsburgh will win. They're going to carry that momentum from the fortunate win they got within the division on last week. So I think Steelers will win that. Sunday, the 12th, has morning action starting with the Cowboys at 8-4, head to Washington, who is 6-6. Washington coming off the win against the Raiders, and Cowboys winning as well. I gotta say, Dallas wins. You have all that talent. They were off since last Thursday. They defeated the Saints. But you never know with this Washington team and being at home. Remember last time they were home, they survived and defeated Seattle by 2. So that should be a really good game for the morning game, at least out here in the West. Dallas and Washington. Divisional game as well coming up with Jacksonville at 2-10 headed to Tennessee to face the Titans. I almost said Oilers, who are 8-4. With the Colts on their sights on first place, coming right at Tennessee, but I think Tennessee easily gets this win. Jacksonville really in shambles. Trevor Lawrence is he's not ready yet, and it seems like it's a one and done for Urban Meyer. I think he wants to go back to broadcasting with college football, or be again a head coach in college football. But he's one of those stories. Unless he could turn it around next year or stay around for a while, he's like Nick Saban, Bobby Petrino, Steve Spurrier. He's right now in that list of coaches coming from college to the NFL that's just not working out. Okay, Seattle at 4-8 goes to Houston, who's 2-10. Houston better not. Seattle better not lose this game. Houston got just shut down by the Colts last week. Seattle was able to sweep San Francisco and Seattle last week, and still is in the wild card race despite the 4-8 record, and looking to make it 5-8 on the season. Next game, a divisional game, you got the Raiders at 6-6, losing to Washington last week by a field goal, facing the 8-4 Chiefs, who are 8-4 in first place. I think the Chiefs, they remember the Sunday night game they had this year and stomped the Raiders. They also remember last year when in Week 5, Raiders defeated the Chiefs somehow. That won't happen this time. That's a guarantee. I'll have more on the Raider preview coming up on Friday night, but I cannot see the Raiders winning this, but I hope I'm wrong. But the season's been so up and down for the Raiders. Next game, New Orleans at 5-7, headed to New Jersey to play the New York Jets, who are 3-9. Saints defense should have a field day with the Jets, but we'll see. I'm going to say the Saints win. Speaking of the NFC South, you got the Falcons at 5-7. Going to Charlotte to face the Carolina Panthers, who are 5-7 as well. Both are still in it. Both are right there in the wild card race for that 7th spot. I mean, it's kept everybody in the 7th spot. that normally wouldn't be, I guess. But it's a traffic jam right there for the last wildcard spot. Carolina just fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, although he wasn't given much to work with. When you have Sam Darnold, when you got Cam Newton, I forget the other quarterback, but he came from the XFL. You don't have a lot of. You don't have a. You don't have the talent. Somebody has to take the fall, and it's usually coaches, and that's what happened here with Carolina. Maybe they play freer without Joe Brady, but we'll see. I think the Falcons win this. Maybe Matt Ryan do better with Kyle Pitts, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go with the Falcons. Carolina is without McCaffrey for the whole rest of the season, so that's how I see it. Okay, a divisional game here in the AFC North. You got the Ravens at 8-4 headed to Cleveland to play the 6-6 Browns. Ravens coming off a shocking loss when all they could have done was tie the game with the extra point. Instead, because they were down to cornerbacks, one of them, Marlon Humphrey, for the season now, they went for 2 instead of going to overtime, potentially. And they didn't get the 2-point conversion. Meanwhile, the Browns, struggling at 6-6, they had very high expectations. People are saying, Baker Mayfield is not the answer. Well, he's the only option right now. So he's going to have to be better. Njoku may be out with COVID. So we'll see what happens with the Browns. But I think the Ravens, even though they're down corners, they got to get to Baker. Because they have People Jones still there for the Browns. Hopefully the backup tight ends do well for Cleveland. But I'm going to go with Baltimore in that game. All right, the New York Giants at 4-8 head to Southern California to face the Chargers, who are 7-5. What was it? The Giants are without Daniel Jones. Mike Glennon has a concussion, so what was his name? Jeff Fromm will maybe be the starter. He was a third stringer, and now he has to be a starter. They basically have Saquon Barkley, and that's about it for the Giants. Chargers coming off the big win in Cincinnati, where they led by what, it was like 21-0, 24-0. Bengals came back and scored unanswered points. Then the Chargers came back. The defense came back and scored unanswered points to defeat Cincinnati in Cincinnati. So with that, I think the momentum, even though they're getting hit by COVID, Keenan Allen I saw is in protocol. I forget who else, but it's going around. I think the Chargers still win that. Next game, the Detroit Lions, who won their first game last week over the Vikings, 10-1, go to Denver, who is 6-6. They lost to Kansas City last Sunday night. I think the Broncos win. The offense has to be much better. We'll see if Melvin Gordon comes back for Denver. But we'll also see if the Lions, even though on the road, maybe they can score enough points to shock Denver. But Jared Goff would have to have another great game. Or not great, but just managing very well. That last drive, you got to see against Minnesota, they did well. And that was great to see them get their first win. I think it'd be different if they didn't have their tie and they were 0-11. Then okay, you want to see an unperfect season. But with the tie, it kind of spoils that. So, at any rate, it's great that the Lions got their first win. So shout out to Detroit. The Niners 6-6 head to Cincinnati, who's 7-5. Both teams really need this game. We'll see if the Bengals can grow up in a way, because we've seen they're still young. San Francisco's really banged up, especially at running back. And we'll see if Deebo Samuel can play for the 49ers. That would be very tough. You could tell they really missed him last week in Seattle. So we will see if he'll play this week against Cincinnati. The Bengals just have to learn how to play well, especially down the road, down late in the games. Next game, you got Buffalo 7-5, who lost Monday night to New England, playing Tampa Bay, who's 9-3. The news, of course, with Tampa Bay, you've had Antonio Brown and I believe another linebacker, one of the linebackers on the team, work together to have fake vaccines cards, and they've been suspended 3 games. So you won't see Antonio Brown out there for the Bucks. We'll see how much of a distraction that is, or will they be focused enough? Buffalo, meanwhile, after their hot start, I don't care about the conditions and all that. They didn't run the ball well against the Patriot defense. Tampa Bay supposedly doesn't have a great defense. So hopefully they could get that running game going. And then also get the passing game going. You know, get Diggs going. Get Dawson Knox has to have a better game. And then all depends on Josh Allen. Man, he was right there for the MVP in the beginning. Like Derek Carr and whoever else. Now, you throw that out the window, man. I think Tampa Bay still wins that game. The Sunday night game has Chicago at 4-8, going to Green Bay, who's 9-3. The Packers off their bye week, hoping to get Aaron Jones back. They should run over Chicago. Andy Dalton had, I think, 4 picks last week to their loss at home versus Arizona. It didn't help that Murray and Hopkins was back too, but that defense for Chicago not stopping anyone. And I don't know. I know the Bears are still in it mathematically, but it just doesn't seem like it. The Packers, meanwhile, like I said, they should easily win that game and do well on national television Sunday night. The Monday Night Football game should be a dandy. You got the 8-4 Los Angeles Rams facing the 10-2 Arizona Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona, on Monday Night Football. And this is a divisional game. Rams, as you can tell, 2 games back of first place. And you would hope that it would be a good one. And I think the X factor here will be Zach Ertz, and then Tyler Higbee for LA, because you know the attention's going to be at Hopkins and Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. Both teams, you want to see the running game get going, and it's names you don't really know on the Rams and Cardinals for the running game. The running game seems to be Murray for the Arizona Cardinals. I think Arizona pulls it off, but we'll see if the Ram defense can contain and keep Murray in the pocket. And hopefully, if they want to win, the pressure has to come up from up front. Aaron Donald and Ramsey on Hopkins. That should be a fun matchup to see on Monday Night Football. I think Arizona does sneak that out, though. So that's what I think on the Week 14 picks. You got some great games coming up this week. Maybe some shockers, too. You never know. So that's what I think on Week 14 picks. Wonder what everybody else thinks. Let me know what you think on the predictions, on the comments, I should say. So take care, folks. Later.